Hello, everyone. Today we're going to be doing an examination of the teen spaces at the Rancho Cucamonga Public Library. The teen spaces at the Rancho Cucamonga Public Library consist of the teen scenes. These exist at both the Archibald and Paul Bion library locations. First off, we look at the Archibald teen scene. Here you can see that the entrance is outside the elevator on the second floor. As you enter, you see a small sign on your left side, and as you venture further into the room, you get a few more ideas of what we can see in here in terms of flooring, space, coloring. As you can see on the image on the right, you can see that they do have a new book and classic book section, though I missed this as I left the elevator and approached the teen scene, and it's on my right. I missed it as I came in. In fact, the most noticeable things I entered were in the entire space were the glowing exit signs, which you can see there, and the doors available on the far sides of the room. As we venture farther into the teen space, you can see here that it's very crowded. It's not very well lit up, and it seems to be like you can't look from one end of the space to the other. I found this to be obtrusive. I found this to be very cramped. And as I explored the space, I found that there were 9 doors. There were I think, 3 study rooms, 2 storage rooms, an adult literacy center, 2 doors for employee access, and a last door, I think, for storage as well. None of these doors or spaces were dedicated teen spaces. And so not only did I find a teen area that was significantly smaller than the rest of the library, but also sacrificed more than the rest of the library. I don't feel as though this would make teens feel very equal in the library space. And while there was a space for them, which is fantastic, as some libraries don't have that kind of space, the furniture, the materials in the space, none of it felt particularly uh, unique. I felt as though I've been here before. The decor was drab, the coloring was great. The posters were generic library posters of, Spider-Man swing into a good book. None of it felt as though it was designed by a teen, or really input from teens at all. Upon further investigation, I found out that the teen space, in fact, was constructed in 1994, back when the building used to be a hospital and then was converted into a library. So it does not appear as though this space was constructed by teens or with any input from them. The furniture, I don't know if you can see from this photo, the furniture is attached to the floor because it has outlets in it. So none of this furniture is movable. It's all bolted down. The teens can't move it around or do anything with it. The space itself is very cramped. I think as you can see here, the space itself is very cramped. This is looking from those back doors back towards the teen center, or sorry, back towards the children's side of the library. And so there really isn't a lot of floor space for the town. I don't think there's any more than maybe 8 feet of clear floor space in the entire area. So there's no space for teens to really spread out, create, sit on the floor, or do what they really want in these areas. And like I said, most of the area seems to lead to places that are not dedicated to teens at all. So we do see on the far side there in the picture on the right that there are dedicated computers for teens. That is fantastic. Though, as Bernier states in his work, teens are striving for mobile online access nowadays. They want to be able to sit where they want. They want to be able to be comfortable in their space and use their space how they see fit. And sadly, the second floor, I couldn't get a video of it. I couldn't get pictures of it. But if they want to check out a laptop at this library, then they not only need a parent for a library card to get a laptop, but they then have to go downstairs to the adult section amongst the adults and use the kiosk and then take the laptop back upstairs. Not ideal. The space and overall, my impressions of the space was that while the teens had their own dedicated space away from the other areas of the library, it was significantly smaller and sacrificed the most space. And the children's area directly from across from it is at least double its size. The whole downstairs is double the size of both the teen area and the children's area. The adult space is huge. Uh, I was left feeling like teens did not get equal access to library materials or space at the Archibald location. Secondly, here we have Paul Beyond's teen scene, the second space in teen space at under the Rancho Cucamonga Public Library. This is the newer location. It was opened 12 years later. Uh, as you can see, it does have a bit of an updated appearance. There is a very big teen scene sign, though they couldn't change the name apparently. They do have a feature out front, which is nice. And I don't know if you noticed this, but it's the marble floor directly in front of the teen space. As you enter the library, it's a very big open space. This space was in fact designed to be a library. You can tell just from entering. It's a really great space, and sadly, none of it has been given to the teens. This is by far the smallest, what you're looking at is by far the smallest space in the library. It's directly upon entrance, so it's not hidden away like the Archibald space, which is nice. But as you walk in, it's on your right. And I mean, what's in front of you is this big open library, and then you have this little nook here for teens. It's better lighting. It has more windows, which is great. It does make the space seem bigger, even though it's kind of small. It's smaller. The space still shares a study room, and as you can see here, a door to a defunct tech center. I asked about the tech center, and they said that it was, in fact, defunct and being used for library storage. So once again, the teen space, much like Archibald, is the smallest space in the library, but also makes more sacrifices than any other section of the library. Not a very great way to make teens feel wanted. As you can see in this picture on the right here, that is the glass walls. That is the study room. It is the biggest study room that the library offers, and of course, it's cut out of the teen space. And none of the teen spaces in either the Archibald location or this location are reserved for teens specifically. So you do have adults coming in and out of these areas. It doesn't make the teens feel like they have their own space. In fact, I think I found an adult sitting in one of these. He's not. I wasn't allowed to take photos of him. I was specifically restricted to taking photos of no patrons. But regardless to say, there were adults using the space as well because it's right in at the entrance, and adults can think. I suppose they think they can come in and just sit down. So while there is some improvements to Paul Beyond's teen space, it still suffers from the same outdated, the same uninspired, not not unique design and layout that Archibald suffers from. You can tell the teens weren't a part of the design of the space. The space isn't made to be adapted or usable in any way like Archibald's materials. Everything's more or less bolted to the ground because everything's plugged in, and teens aren't allowed to unplug them. It's not by any chance a bad space, but there is much improvement that both of these spaces could use in terms of being spaces that teens actually want to use, actually get things, furniture, things that the teens would like to see themselves. They're currently, as you can see, the Paul Beyond Teen Space doesn't even have any leisure seating. There's nothing comfortable. There's only wooden, or not wooden, but plastic chairs and plywood tables. Not really the kind of materials that teens envision in their spaces. And there's no technology access in the Paul Beyond teen area at all as compared to Archibald's. They still have to venture out into the adult areas to find a laptop, to find something to be able to use the access the internet. If a teen was to come here with no internet access of his own, he would not be able to use the internet or access anything in this space. The best thing I could advise both spaces to do would be to get input from teens, get input from the people that actually use the spaces, and find a way to adapt these spaces to what the teens need in terms of both schooling and entertainment to create a space that teens actually want to use. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed my little tour of the Rancho Cucamonga Public Library teen spaces. Have a nice day.